"Mr. Washington, are you sure you're in the right courtroom?" The words echoed through the grand, wood-paneled chamber of the United States Supreme Court. A ripple of soft laughter spread through the gallery. Reporters smirked behind their pens. Chief Justice John Roberts, perched high on the bench, tilted his head and gave a half-smile, less amused than skeptical. Standing at the podium, calm and unshaken, was Denzel Washington. Not in a tailored tuxedo or posing for cameras, he was here not as a Hollywood icon, but as a man with a cause. "Your Honor," Denzel replied smoothly, "I am where I need to be. A man on a mission." The story had begun months earlier, not on a movie set, but in the heart of South Central Los Angeles. Denzel, moved by rising violence and broken systems, had quietly launched a rehabilitation initiative, Project Rise. It was a safe space for young men leaving juvenile detention. Not just for reform, but for redemption, education, therapy, skills training, and mentorship. But when a young man in the program, Jamal, 19, fatherless, brilliant, and recently paroled, was falsely accused in a nearby burglary, the media pounced. "Hollywood hero funds criminal havens," one headline read. City officials, panicking under public pressure, froze funding and issued a shutdown order. When Denzel challenged it legally, the case escalated fast. Higher courts passed the buck. Until it landed at the Supreme Court. And instead of hiring a high-powered legal team, Denzel, quietly, without press, chose to represent the program himself. A courtroom doubts. Judge Roberts was baffled. "You do realize this is a constitutional hearing, not a press conference?" "I'm aware, Your Honor," Denzel replied. "I've spent the last 3 months studying every line of the city's complaint. If they're going to dismantle hope for these kids, I at least owe it to them to fight back with facts." The courtroom tensed. This wasn't the dramatic monologue of a film, it was the clear, steady voice of a man who had done his homework. Denzel pulled out a thick binder. "May I present Exhibit A?" It wasn't paperwork. It was a collection of letters, handwritten by the young men in Project Rise. The twist no one saw coming. He read aloud. "Greater than, Mr. Washington, this program is the first place anyone ever told me I was worth something. Devon, 17. Before Project Rise, my plan was to end my life. Now I'm tutoring middle schoolers. Jamal. I've never met my father. Mr. Denzel became the only man I trust. Please don't take that away. Caleb, 16. For a long moment, there was only silence. Then Denzel continued, not with emotion, but with precision. He broke down the city's flawed evidence, exposed inconsistencies in the police reports, and highlighted constitutional protections that supported his case. To the astonishment of the bench, he quoted prior Supreme Court rulings, Brown v. Board, Gideon v. Wainwright, with the ease of a seasoned litigator. Even Justice Sotomayor leaned forward. "Mr. Washington, have you studied law?" "No, ma'am," he replied. "But I've studied people. And when you care enough, you learn whatever you need to stand up for them." A moment of realization. Midway through the hearing, something shifted. The justices, including Roberts, began to truly listen, not to the celebrity, but to the man. To the father figure. To the citizen. Roberts stared down at the letter from Jamal. The boy had been exonerated days before the hearing, thanks to a security camera installed at the center, one that proved his innocence. The Chief Justice exhaled deeply. "You installed this camera?" "Yes," Denzel nodded. "Kids can't build a future if they're always waiting to be blamed." The emotional climax. The courtroom climaxed not with a dramatic verdict, but with something more powerful, understanding. "Let me be clear," Denzel concluded. "This isn't about saving a program. It's about saving lives. The justice system may not always be perfect, but it's still the last place where truth can win, if we let it." He closed his binder. "I'm not asking for favors. I'm asking for fairness." There was nothing left to say. The verdict. 2 weeks later, the Supreme Court issued its ruling, unanimous in favor of Project Rise. But it was what happened afterward that told the real story. Chief Justice Roberts requested a private meeting with Denzel. "I was wrong about you," Roberts admitted. "I thought you were here for the cameras. But today, I learned something." Denzel shook his head. "We all misjudge sometimes. What matters is what we do next." A lasting impact. In the following months, Project Rise expanded to 3 more cities with federal support. Other celebrities and entrepreneurs followed suit, creating similar initiatives around the country. And Chief Justice Roberts, he began publicly advocating for educational access for incarcerated youth, a cause he once overlooked. Final message. Denzel never boasted. He never took a victory lap. He simply returned to South Central, back to the young men who called him Coach D, and kept doing the work. Because heroes don't always wear capes or robes. Sometimes, they carry binders full of hope. And in a world of noise, sometimes the quietest voices are the ones that change everything. The truth. Kindness doesn't need credentials. Compassion doesn't need a courtroom. And justice doesn't always wear a gavel. Sometimes, it just walks in, quietly, and speaks from the heart.